Hey everyone, I'm going to take a look at the new Player of the Week pack on eFootball. There's one or two new bits in the game this week. So on Monday, they actually added a new player to the points store. So you can get a Szoboszlai card. It's a pretty good one. So if you've got loads of points expiring, you can at least spend a few thousand of them on Szoboszlai, and it's only the remainder of your points that are going to go to waste due to the fact there's nothing else to spend them on. This Champions League encore thing is the existing campaign. It's not new. There's a second vote on the Arsenal Champions League match. So the previous vote, it turns out, was only for the first leg. They didn't clarify that. That was helpful. But now we know. So this vote is for the second leg. You can get another selector thingy bob, whatever you call it, get a trainer or something. There is a second chance to spin that Ballon d'Or Showtime pack. So if you want to get an ever so slightly better version of one of these cards than the one that you've got, and if you're happy for that to cost you loads of money, then yeah, exciting, spend that. Player of the Week, that's what we're going to review today. A couple of other new bits. We're going to go to packs first. So in packs, firstly, we've got this beautiful turquoise and red Songkran kit. I'm guessing that's specifically to do with, I don't know, is that to do with Thailand? I think there's a Songkran card for people in Thailand. But yeah, if you want to spend 100 coins on that kit, go for it. But there's also a Norway pack, slightly unusual one. We had a Netherlands pack pretty much out of nowhere a while back. Now we've got a Norway one. What's interesting about this one, though, is we got our very first 89 rated manager. So we've got an 89 rated outright manager, and apparently what you get from 89 is that the threshold at which attributes go up by 3 instead of 2 is going to be 84 instead of 85. That's the difference. So yeah, I've been speculating recently we're going to get 89 rated soon. We've got our first one. It's out wide. That's obviously very much fitting with the current meta, all the cross ban that's going on, and it's also with the booster you get +1 heading, +1 physical contact. So they're not being subtle about it, are they? About in terms of what this, which segment of the player base this manager's aimed at. You've also got where is he? There he is. You've all got this man, the big man, Siolot, target man, great in the air. So yeah, I think it's pretty obvious who this pack's aimed at. We've got our first 89 rated manager. Interesting. So that's what's new in the packs, and then if we go to the special, what they call it, special coin packs, what they call it, always forget, special player list, of course. So in here, oh no, I've got to use a 4-star. I've only got 5 days to pick up a 4-star card that's completely useless. So there's your Ballon d'Or rehash, player that we're going to look at in a second. This is an interesting one. So we've got a Thai League first half of the season pack. So these cards have the total package boost. So if you want to get one of these cards to get the maximum boost, you have to fill your squad with mostly 2-star and 3-star players. Yeah, shut up and take my money. Apart from that, don't think there's anything really new going on in here. So let's go straight into Player of the Week. And as always, I'll put timestamps in the description for all the players in this pack. So if you want to hear about a particular player in this pack, just click in the description. There'll be a link that will take you straight to them. And we'll start with the lowest rated, all 5 stars. But we'll start with Leandro Cabrera. So we had a fairly recent Player of the Week card, Leandro Cabrera. That's the only other time we had a feature version of him. And there's only one real big difference between this one and that recent one. Neither of them have a face scan. The big difference is that this one's a destroyer. That's his usual playing style. The previous one, they changed him to a build-up. He had better low pass. Apart from that, a bunch of attributes +1 or -1, but it's very, very, very similar to that previous one. So if you got that previous one like I did, you don't need this one. But it's a solid centre-back. Down the middle of the defence is all going 90+ with your game plan boost. Down the right, the acceleration is not brilliant, but he's got good speed for a centre-back. Jumping and physical are okay. Balance not great, but he's a centre-back. Stamina's decent. Their boost is stamina, their boost is speed and acceleration. Boosted his finishing as well, nice boost on his finishing. But yeah, it's a solid centre-back. He's not great on the ball. He's pretty much what you'd expect everywhere it is. No real glaring weakness anywhere. Skill-wise, he's pretty well equipped, I think. So we had first-time shot on the previous Player of the Week card, but don't have that this time. Don't think anyone's going to really miss that. You've got heading and aerial. You've got man marking, search and blocker, sliding tackle, counter-fight experience. So I think acrobatic clearance is the only one who's really missing as a centre-back. Would be nice if we had 1 or 2 passing skills, but ultimately, I think this is a card that most people would look at as an option for the Spanish League Challenge. That's how I looked at the previous one. I've kept hold of him because he's not getting in my main squad anytime soon. But he's solid, and if there's any given week where he's got form and there's a Spanish League Challenge, I think he could be useful for that. Beyond that, I don't think he's that amazing, but like I said, there's no glaring weakness. I'd like the aerial and physical to be a little bit stronger, but apart from that, nothing's really concerning me here. I think he's just a solid centre-back, and if you're new to the game, could be a very solid option for a while until you get better players. And like I say, for a lot of people, for the Spanish League Challenge, could be a useful option for that. So it's not brilliant, it's not overly exciting, but I don't see any glaring weaknesses. I think it's just a pretty solid centre-half on the whole. And next we have Talisca. So Talisca is currently available in the Player of the Month nominating contract pack from the Turkish League. So you've got 2 versions of him in the game at the moment. He's got a face scan, of course. He's a whole player this time. So the Player of the Month one is a goal poacher. This time is a whole player. His regular card doesn't seem to have a playing style. If you're comparing this one to the nominating contract one, this one has a bit more on his passing, and he's got a bit more balance as well, even though his balance is still pretty poor. But the Player of the Month one's got a bit more on his heading. And aside from that, not really any major difference that I can see. A few skills slightly different, but I don't think anything game changing. So yeah, those are the only real differences. I think the playing style probably is the one biggest difference really, and possibly the passing, if that's going to maybe sway you either way. So yeah, you've got a pretty similar version on the whole of Talisca here. There was an Asian Champions League pack that had a trainable Talisca card in. That was a roaming flank. Pretty similar overall, but you can train that card obviously, so you can kind of make him stronger in certain areas if you really want to. So yeah, it's kind of similar level to what we've had previously for a Talisca card. Compared to his GP card, obviously they've changed his position. He's normally a right wing forward, so they've obviously changed the profile a little bit in terms of the way the stats are balanced out. But he's a little bit quicker than his GP card. He's got a bit more physical contact, a bit more balance, a bit more stamina. And they boosted his defending as well, of course. He's an attacking player, so they're always going to boost the defending on attacking player and player of the week for some reason. Most of the technicals are up a bit, except dribbling. He's lost a few points of his dribbling. Very annoying. They always seem to do that with attacking players and wingers. But yeah, on the whole, obviously had a bit of a boost from his GP card, and it's pretty much similar kind of level to other versions. It might be the playing style that sways you, to be honest. He's got unwavering form. Skill-wise, what they've done from his GP card. So they've changed quite a bit here. Hang on. So they've taken away, I think, scissors feint, dipping shot, acrobatic finishing has gone. That's a shame. No look pass, I think, is gone, and low lofted pass. So I think the one out of those that I really think we'd miss is acrobatic finishing. That's a shame that we've lost that. I think we can live without the other ones, but what we've gained: long range curler, very nice addition. Outside curler, also a nice addition. Penalty specialist, nah. Super sub, nice. And then fighting spirit, interesting. I think outside curler is one interesting there because he's not overly two-footed, and as a big, tall guy, that will be helpful. You know, you don't want to be kind of trying to adjust his body and play passes awkwardly on his stronger foot when it's not on the right side. Having outside curler will help in some of those situations to be able to pop off passes a bit quicker and shots and a bit more comfortably. So yeah, shame we lost acrobatic finishing, but on the whole, long range curler is always a really good one to have in attacking players. Outside curler, like I said, I think it's going to be really helpful. Super sub and fighting spirit, good ones to have as well. So yeah, decent skills that we've got on him. Just depends where you're going to play this guy. Attacking midfielder, low and lofted pass, you're barely hitting 80 with your game plan boost. We don't have one-touch pass or through passing, so you're going to use this guy as an attacking midfielder. I personally wouldn't. I certainly wouldn't play him as a centre midfielder. The passing's not good enough. He can't defend. I think centre mid's out of the question for me. Attacking mid, if you really think you can get away with the passing, sure, go for it. Some people might be fine with him there. He's certainly better at shooting than passing, so I think he's probably better a bit further up the pitch. I think as an SS behind the attack, that might be the best place to put this guy. That whole player playing style will be active SS as well as attacking mid and centre mid. But if you play him as an SS, as a whole player, the attack awareness is good, finishing's pretty good. The passing is not quite so important. It's still a bit iffy without through passing skill or one touch pass. He's okay on the ball. That balance concerns me. On a big tall guy, it's not great. He does have a bit of physical strength though. That's going to get you high enough to get that threshold for auto shielding when you're dribbling. Bit of pace about it for a big man, bit of kicking power. He could be a handy one in those areas around the attack. You could put him out wide as well. If you put him wide right, I'm not sure about wide left. He can't really cross the ball. He's not got crossing, has he? No. But certainly wide right as a left footer with long range curler now. He's not going to be the most fluid on the ball. He's not the quickest, but he's got a bit of pace and he is decent enough on the ball. If you can handle him on the ball, I've tried out the Player of the Month one on one of my accounts, and he's not brilliant. He's pretty much as I expected. You do notice the fact he's quite tall and a little bit kind of awkward on the ball, but he's not that bad on the ball. He could be worse, and I think it depends. You know, so if you're really good at dribbling, if you can handle these bigger guys on the ball, he could be a decent option for you from the right. Like I say, with long range curler coming onto his left foot off that right flank, could be pretty decent. But like I say, behind the attack as well, could be decent there. You could get away with him as a centre forward. The attacking awareness 84, finishing 83. They're not as high as I'd like them to be, but they're not disastrous. And he's got a lot of strengths elsewhere, so I think it's pretty similar to the Player of the Month version, to be honest. There's a few different ways you could use this guy. I don't think he's going to be amazing in any particular position. I think the whole player playing style suits him better. I think that's probably more likely his real life playing style. So yeah, the playing style could be the thing that sways you. But yeah, if you're interested in this guy, rather than spending coins on this one, I'd probably just go for the Player of the Month one. But it is a good looking version of him. He could be handling a few positions. Not sure he's amazing in any position, but certainly in a bunch of positions, he could be very useful. And I've only just noticed he's got a booster. What does the booster give him? Kicking power, physical contact, ball control, finishing. That's shooting, I guess. I think I've seen that as well. Shooting. Yeah, so we've got shooting. Yeah, fair enough. I think, like I say, that doesn't make much difference in my opinion. I think in attacking areas, you could use him off the right flank, could have him just behind the attack. You could well use him as a striker. There's a few ways you could use him. I don't think he's going to be amazing. You're going to notice the fact he's quite tall. He's not got great balance, but certainly plenty of qualities there. And as a handy card, especially if you're still able to take part in that Turkish League Challenge, could be a decent one to have. It's a decent version of Talisca. And next we have our first featured version of Ismaël Doukouré. He does not have a face scan. He's a centre-back. He's a build-up. He's normally an anchorman defensive midfielder, so they've changed his position and playing style. And I've got to be honest, I don't understand how this is a 5-star card. They're saying he's a 5-star card. Obviously, he's only just a 5-star 92, but this is a centre-back. He's not good at defending. He's not particularly strong physically. He's not going to be great in the air. He's a centre-back who's got decent pace and he's quite decent technically, but these defences and physicals, this is not a 5-star card for me. I've got 3-star centre-backs, so I'd sooner put in my team than this guy. They have added a bunch of skill to this guy. They've added first-time shot, super helpful on the centre-back. Obviously, if he scored a goal in real life, that's fair enough. But in terms of using this guy in game, looking at how good he's going to be for you if you pick him up, yeah, first-time shot's not helpful. But one-touch pass, interception is helpful, and blocker, 2 very good additions there. Fighting spirit as well. So they've added some skills there, but we're still lacking man marking, acrobatic clearance. We're lacking aerial superiority as well. So he's only 6 foot tall, 82 jumping, no aerial. He's not going to be good in the air. I'd like him to be stronger. He's not great at defending. Not for me. I think this is one of the weakest player of the week cards I've seen in a while, to be honest. I don't want to sound too negative about it. Yes, he's got very nice passing for a centre back, but does that make up for the fact that he can't defend particularly well? Not for me, especially with so many people cross-spamming at the moment. He's going to get gobbled up in the air. So, yeah, nice to have centre-backs with a bit of pace and who can pass the ball, but not at the expense of their ability to defend and to win headers and stuff. So, yeah, a few qualities there. A boosted version of him from his GP card, but it's not a great one for me. Could you put him in his normal position, DMF? I mean, defensively he's decent, physically quite strong. Down the right, I think he'd certainly get away with all of that. Down the left, he's horrible on the ball. Passing is not going to be brilliant. He's got one-touch pass, but not through passing. He might be better as a DMF than a centre-back, to be honest, but he's still not going to be a brilliant one. So, I don't know, maybe I'm being harsh, but I'm just looking at this guy and I'm just not sure how he's a 5-star. I think it's going to be one of the easiest decisions I would make if I get it from my free spin, because you're getting released straight away. And there's no French League Challenge either. So, yeah, maybe I sound a bit harsh. I don't know. Maybe there's something I'm missing with this guy, but to me, it looks like a really poor card. And our next booster, it's Alex Iwobi, creative playmaker, left midfield. He's normally a left wing forward. They've switched his position to left midfield, but he's got both those positions already. It doesn't make much difference. He's got a booster. He's got a face scan. Let's just activate that booster. So what's that? Speed, acceleration, bounce down. That's agility, right? Agility, yeah. So his weaker for accuracy is +1 before I failed to notice that. We've had one previous version of this guy, special version. That was in some kind of legend pay-to-win box. Didn't have as much pace on that one, but a bit better on the ball and passing. Depends how you train him though. You can train him in different ways, that card, if you've got it. Compared to Iwobi's GP card, he's a bit worse on the ball. Boosted his lofted pass, boosted his finishing, boosted his defending, of course, on an attacking player. Bit more pace, kicking power, physical contact balance. Yeah, so he's had a pretty nice boost across the board. Shame he's been slightly nerfed on the ball, but you're still going to get to 90 with the game plan boost on all the 3 on the ball attributes. So, yeah, it's looking like a decent version of Iwobi. Unwavering form. Skill-wise, what have they done? They just added a bunch of skills, so doesn't look like anything's been removed. We've got cut behind and turn, I think is new. Soul control, I think is new. Long range curler, very nice addition. Pinpoint crossing down there is new, and fighting spirit, of course. Attacking players always seem to get that in player of the week these days, not complaining. So yeah, we've got one touch and through already. Now we've got crossing as well. Long range curler, a very nice addition. Soul control, a nice addition. And fighting spirit. So it's a pretty nice beefed up version of Iwobi, this. Pace is decent. On the ball, pretty nice. Pretty good attacking awareness. Finishing is decent enough. Low pass a bit if he's got one touch and through. I think on a... I don't want to go off on a rant here, but you're going to give this guy the creative playmaker playing style, and you're going to give him 73 for low pass. I'm sorry, but if he played like a playmaker, make his passing better. Because you can't playmake with 73 low pass. I don't care if he's got all the passing skills in the world. 73 for his low pass attribute, he can't playmake. So yeah, I won't go on any more of a rant than that. But yeah, that playing style, it might work for you. And you know, you don't have to playmate with this guy. It's just as a creative playmaker. I've said it before. As a wide man, if you're going to use him as a wide man, I prefer my wide men to make more attacking runs. I like to be a bit more direct with their forward running. Creative playmaker, when you're moving forward on the attack, will quite often hang back, and they'll want to be given the ball so that they can orchestrate. They won't always make those runs beyond the defenders and beyond, you know, into those attacking spaces, which frustrates me. But that's just personal preference. It might work for you as a wide man, but like I say, with that playing style, if he's going to hang back and look to get on the ball, I want him to be able to pass the ball better. So that's very frustrating. But he is going to be good in the ball. He does have pretty decent pace, certainly on A form. Pretty average pace when he's not got A form. The balance could be better, but again, physical contact is just about going to get to that threshold for auto shielding when he's dribbling. Got good stamina. Yeah, I think he's a handy one. It's just whether that playing style works for you. That will be an active playing style in all the positions except for centre midfield. I don't see many people playing this guy as a centre midfielder because his defending is awful. He doesn't have any defensive skills. I think he's either going to be an attacking midfielder who's nowhere near good enough at passing to be an attacking midfielder, or a winger who might have a playstyle that works for you, but otherwise might be frustrating. But if that playstyle does work for you in a wide man, like I say, he's got a bit of pace, certainly on A form, and he's pretty good on the ball technically. And yes, you're going to have to be careful with his low pass, but I mean, and lofted pass as well. 76 lofted pass. Yes, they give him pinpoint crossing, but they do this a lot. They'll give a player pinpoint crossing, but they won't make his lofted pass good enough for him to actually have a good cross on him. Yes, it'll be a kind of fairly average cross he's got on him, which is an improvement with the pinpoint crossing skill, but it still won't be great. So yeah, passing and crossing, be careful, but the finishing is decent enough, especially with long range curler. So if you play him on the left, cutting inside, could be pretty handy this one. A bit of pace, pretty good on the ball. Just probably comes down to that playing style. If the playing style works for you out wide, it could be a very handy one coming off that left wing. They give him some nice skills. He's got some qualities in important areas. But the frustration for me, that a creative playmaker playing style, it doesn't work for me personally out wide. For some other people, it might be the same. And to give a creative playmaker such low pass, I think is very frustrating. But he's got qualities. And if he can work around the passing, possibly through the middle, but certainly out wide, coming off the left wing onto his right foot, he could be one that could work for a lot of people, and especially for the English League Challenge, could be a handy option. It's not going to be for everyone this card, but for quite a few people, I think it could be a pretty handy one. Next is Daichi Kamada from Palace. So Kamada is normally an attacking midfielder and a hole player. He's now a defensive midfielder and a box-to-box. And he's got a face scanner, of course, because he's Japanese. What's interesting with Kamada is we've actually had a previous Player of the Week card of him when he was at Lazio, where they also changed him to a defensive midfielder box-to-box. And this is very similar to that card. This one has the interception skill. That's probably the only significant difference. That's all I can see really. Apart from that, really, really similar to that Lazio one. So it's a pretty tightly looking card. It's obviously more of an all-rounder than he normally is. We've had other versions of Kamada in the past, of course. We've had there's a World Cup Player of the Week one, attacking midfielder. This one's better than that one, even as an attacking midfielder, to be honest. We had 1-2 trainable ones. There's one from Italian League Pack. That was a centre midfielder with a creative playmaker playing style. This one's a bit better overall, but you can make that one a bit better. Obviously, that one's a trainable one. You can make him a bit better going forward in certain ways, on the ball or passing or whatever. So maybe that one's a bit better as an attacking mid. But this one on the whole, I think probably has the edge overall. Similar story with one from a Japanese pack that was released recently. I think that was only available to people in Japan, possibly. Or maybe it's just a free spin that was only for Japanese people, or Japanese users, sorry. But there was that recent Japan pack that had a trainable version in. Like I say, a similar story to the Italian League Pack version. There was a Showtime version as well. And outside of the defensive boost that this version's had, that Showtime is the best version, obviously, that we've had of Kamada. On his GP card, obviously, it's difficult to do a direct comparison to his GP card because they've changed him around a bit. They've obviously beefed him up defensively and made him more of an all-rounder. Whereas his GP card is an attacking midfielder. You can make the passing better on his GP card, but overall, like I say, in terms of making him as good as he is across the board, he can't really match them up. Obviously, this is going to be better than his GP card, but can't really do a direct comparison with the attributes because of the way they've changed his position and his role. We can compare the skills though. They've taken away Scotch turn, Scotch move, whatever you call it. Chip shot control's gone, and I think penalty specialist is gone. So I don't think we're going to miss any of those particularly. They've added, I think gamesmanship is new. I don't remember him taking a dive against Brighton. But added interception, I'll mention that. He's got that over other versions of Kamada. Certainly the Lazio one, that's a very nice addition if you're going to use this guy as a DMF or CMF. Fighting spirit as well, likewise a good addition. So got one touch and through passing, got long range curler, long range shooting, first time shots, got the shooting, got the passing, got crossing, outside curls, a nice one. We've got a good selection of skills on a midfielder. Fairly two-footed as well. So yeah, this is a tidy midfielder. He's kind of got a bit of everything. He's not amazing in any area. I don't think he's not great on the ball, but he's decent. His passing's not great, but he's at least at the 85 mark, which will get you +3, albeit you only need 84 to get +3 if you get an 89 rated manager now, apparently. Attacking awareness is good, defensive awareness is good. It's not often you get a centre midfielder or defensive midfielder who's 80+ on both attacking and defensive awareness, and that's before your game plan boost. So that's good. He's going to be very responsive up and down the pitch. Defensively, he's not overly strong, but he's not weak. He's at least going over 80, all these attributes. Like I say, he's kind of just... This is the story pretty much across the board and down the right as well. The pace, physical, balance, stamina, everything's just about okay. Nothing's amazing. You know, you can't say he's amazing at passing. He's not amazing on the ball. He's not amazing at defending. He's not really amazing at anything, but he's decent enough at everything. So this is kind of a card where he just could be a really tidy one, especially for that English Street Challenge. As a midfield option, if you put him in some kind of double pivot as a DMF, or if you put him as a centre mid, getting forward a bit more, you could still use him as an attacking mid. He's got the skills, certainly. The attributes aren't overly high with the dribbling, the passing and so on, but he could do a job for you as an attacking mid, maybe even as an SS at a stretch. This is one of these cards where it's just a useful one. It's a handy one. I don't think he's an amazing one. Like I say, there's nothing in any, there's no attribute here or any group of attributes that really stands out as being particularly great, but there's no real weakness either. So I think there's a tidy card this. I think especially for that English League Challenge, or if you rock a Japan squad for the National Team Challenge, or in divisions even, this could be a handy one to have. He's got a very good selection of skills. And like I say, nothing's particularly jumping out on it from his attributes and making me think he's amazing at anything, but there's nothing really weak there. And I like the fact he's got the 80+ awareness defensively and attacking as well. So yeah, not a card that's overly amazing in any way, but I think it's a very tidy one. He's very versatile with a few midfield roles that he's got there. I like what they've done with the skills, so it's a pretty tidy card on the whole. It's a solid card, a useful one, especially for that English League Challenge. So if you get this one, I reckon it could be well worth keeping hold of. And next we have Brennan Johnson. So Brennan Johnson has a face scan, of course. He's had that ages. He's a prolific winger. That's actually a pretty bad face scan. I need to update that. But yeah, prolific winger, right wing forward as his normal playing style and everything. They put his weaker for accuracy up by 1. We've had 1 or 2 versions of Brennan Johnson. We've had a player of the week when he played for Wales 1 week. That was a deep line forward. This one's a bit better on the ball than that one, but that Wales card has a bit more attacking awareness, a bit more low pass and finishing. So pros and cons, slightly different version that one. We've had a couple of trainable dummy runner versions because he used to be a dummy runner. There's one in some kind of legend box that was comfortably better than this card in just about all positions, no matter how you train it. And there's one from, I think, might be one of those European national players packs. That was also a dummy runner. That was slightly better in just about all positions, I think, but not a massive difference though. This one's not far off that one. From his GP card, what they changed. So if you want to allocate his GP card, they've nicked a couple of points off dribbling. That's annoying, but you're still at the 87 mark, so you're going to get to 90 with your maximum game plan boost. The biggest boost is on his finishing, really. Apart from that, a few points and a bunch of stats, including his defending, of course, because he's a forward in Player of the Week, and that's just what they do. But yeah, decent boost on the whole. Like I say, finishing the biggest boost, and then skill-wise, don't think they've removed anything. They've just thrown in soul control, nice one to have. Long range curler, likewise. Pinpoint crossing and outside curler. So some nice additions there. Got one touch pass already, first time shot. So it's one of these cards. You've got to look at his positions, and the question is, where's he going to be? Where are you going to use him? Are you going to use him as a striker? The attack awareness is not great. Finishing likewise. I don't think he's going to be particularly great as a striker. Albeit he's got fantastic pace and he's good on the ball for a striker. You could get away with him there, but for me, like I say, the awareness and finishing are too important. I wouldn't want to put him centre forward. He's not got through passing, so I don't know about playing him as an SS, certainly not as an AMF. His low pass is only 70, so I'm not sure about just behind the attack. So out wide on the right, they've given him pinpoint crossing, but again, 73 lofted pass. If you're going to make a version of Johnson and give him pinpoint crossing, that implies that you're making this card based on a game in which he was good at crossing. So why have you not made him good at crossing? That pinpoint crossing skill alone is not going to make him good at crossing. It's going to improve his crossing from a level that is determined by his lofted pass attribute, and that is poor. So still not great at crossing. I don't think he'd be particularly great on the right hand side putting crosses in, albeit great pace, pretty good on the ball. The dribbling will hit 90 with the game plan boost, so definitely qualities there on the right hand side as a right footer. But like I say, the crossing's not going to be great, so I'm not sure. I mean, he's got long range curler and outside curler, so if you cut inside and you're careful enough, maybe you could do some Trivela finesse shots maybe. But I just wonder with this guy, is he going to be best if you position him as a kind of wide left forward, but you set his position to SS? So if you made this guy an SS wide on the left, the pace, decent on the ball, decent finishing and attacking awareness, long range curler, I think that might be the best way to use this Brennan Johnson card. You put him wide left as an SS. I think as a wide forward coming in from the left flank onto his right foot, long range curler, first time shot, outside curler as well as a handy one, soul control. He's got the pace, he's pretty decent on the ball. I think that might be the best way to use this Brennan Johnson card, to be honest. So yeah, again, for the English League Challenge, maybe he's going to be a good option for you for that primarily. I don't think he's going to be that good that he's going to get many people's first team squads unless you're new to the game. But yeah, he's certainly got qualities. Like I say, he got the pace, pretty decent on the ball. You could certainly have some joy of them from the right wing, but as a right footer without having a higher lofted pass attribute, I don't think his crossing is going to be that great. So I don't think he's best, ideally suited to playing on the right. I don't think he's got the awareness and finishing to play up top, and I don't think his passes are good enough to play as a kind of number 10. So the positions he's got there in a kind of orthodox way, I don't think he really suits any of them that well. But I do think if you set him to an SS wide left, as a wide left forward coming onto his right foot, he could be pretty handy. So if you use him that way especially, it could be a pretty handy card. So it depends how you use him, but for some people, if you use him in certain ways, it could be a pretty decent card, especially for that English League Challenge. And next we have Vangelis Pavlidis. So got a face scan, got a new playing style. Normally a deep lying forward, this guy, but he's a fox in the box this time. We've had a couple of trainable versions of Pavlidis that are both deep line forwards, both in Legend or Showtime boxes. Both slightly better than this one overall. Not a massive difference, just slightly better. But that playing style might be an upgrade for you. It just depends on what suits you. If you prefer deep line forward, obviously it won't be. But I think most people probably would prefer fox in the box. What they've done from his GP card is no other versions to compare him to really. But from his GP card, they boosted his physical and aerials. They boosted his defending, of course, on a striker. Why wouldn't you? They have taken a little bit off his finishing. They've taken a couple of points off his attacking awareness. Awesome. So you've got a centre forward who was amongst the goals in a big game in Portugal, and they've taken his attacking awareness down a bit and put his defensive awareness up. What on earth are you doing, Konami? Somebody please make sense of this for me. But yeah, that's just compared to his GP card and auto allocation. But yeah. Slightly weird and slightly annoying, but they have boosted him on the ball. They've boosted his passing as well, so he has had a boost overall, of course. And what you've got really is kind of not dissimilar to the Daichi Kamada situation. It's a card where nothing really stands out as being amazing. Awareness and finishing kind of okay. On the ball, decent. Passing decent for a striker. Got a bit of pace. Bit of kicking power, physical and aerial, yeah, been boosted, still not amazing, but okay. He's kind of just okay everywhere, but that's kind of what you want in a fox in the box. Obviously, what you want is on any players, you want it to be good in certain areas, you want it to be good overall, but for a fox in the box, it's not. It's about being balanced, really. You need a fox in the box to have a bit of everything. Obviously, you want some awareness and finishing, but a fox in the box will be making late runs into the box. They're quite good at getting on the end of crosses. They will sometimes step back and get on the ball and be involved in the build-up. He's kind of got a bit of everything for that. He's not amazing on the ball. He's not amazing with the passing, but he does have one-touch passing through passing. I'm pretty sure he already had those. What they've changed skill-wise, they've given him double touch. Apparently he did a double touch. I didn't see it. I'll trust their opinion on that. Long range curler, again, nice addition on any attacking player, especially a striker. Fighting spirit, of course, and aerial superiority. Interesting. So got heading, acrobatic, aerial superiority. So he's well equipped skill-wise to get in the end of crosses. The passing skills, very nice. First time shot, long range curler. Heel trick's a nice one. Got a very nice selection of skills. So like with the attributes, you've got a bit of everything, really. He's pretty well equipped for everything. He's not amazing in any way. And we don't get a Portuguese League Challenge, which is a shame. But if you like a fox in the box to be a kind of all-rounder, to have a bit of everything, maybe not amazing at anything, but he'll be decent on the end of crosses. He's got, like I say, decent with the pace, on the ball passing. He's got the passing skills. And the awareness and finishing might not be amazing, but they're decent. They're certainly workable. So it's not an amazing card. Not one. I don't think it's one that many people get excited about. Albeit Benfica fans, I'm sure, will be very pleased if they get this guy. But yeah, just could be a handy one. But the one big drawback is, of course, there's no Portuguese League Challenge. So unless you're like a Greece squad in divisions or the national team challenge, or if you're a Benfica fan, there might be very limited use for this guy. But if you do pick him up and you don't have many strikers on form, or if you're just new to the game, you don't have many strikers, he could certainly be a handy one. He looks like a decent all-rounder for with that Fox in the Box playing style. But like I say, without Portuguese League Challenge, I'm not sure how many people would really be getting much use out of him. Pablo Barrios is next, youngster from Atletico Madrid. So, got his usual position playing style. He's a box-to-box centre mid. That's the only position he's got. He's weaker for accuracy, is +1. We've had one previous version of, and that was in some kind of Legend box or Showtime or something. It's slightly better than this one. Not a big difference though. He's got a face scan. It's not the best face scan, but he's got one. So what then have his GP card? So pretty nice boost across the board, really. The only real areas where he's not been boosted, his ball control's down 1 for some reason, and they've taken a few points off his low and lofted pass, which is just really annoying. So if you're a centre midfielder and you perform well enough as a centre midfielder to get Player of the Week, apparently you're worse at passing than your GP card is. That's quite strange. But yeah, there we go. The passing's still just about kind of okay-ish. Does he have one touch and through though? He does. Okay, so certainly the passing's not terrible, but why would you nerf it on a Player of the Week card? Come on, Konami, it just doesn't make sense. But yeah, it's a decent card overall, to be honest. Another one where nothing's really looking too amazing, but he's pretty solid looking. He's pretty nice. Going to be pretty nice at the ball for centre mid. That dribbling is going to hit 90 with the maximum game plan boost. Like I say, apart from the passing and losing a point of ball control, had a whole bunch of attributes boosted by a few, so it's a decent looking version overall. What have they done skill wise? Looks like the only one we've lost is, I think, Marseille Turn. They like to take Marseille Turn away from players in Player of the Week. They've added, so one touch pass is new. Okay, that's a nice addition. Again, long range curler, got a few players in here who got long range curler. Long range shooting is new as well, and fighting spirit is new. So pretty good selection skills, to be honest, for a centre midfielder. Got a couple of shooting skills there. Soul control's a nice one up there. He's got the passing skills. Outside curls a nice one. Interception is very important on centre mid. Fighting spirit as well. And he's kind of, like I say, got a bit of everything. You know, he can do a bit of defensive work. He's fairly tidy on the ball, certainly with the dribbling. The passing's frustrating. That's the one real frustration, albeit the attacking awareness is a bit low as well. The finishing certainly could be worse. He's got those shooting skills. Decent pace for centre mid. Not too strong physically. Again, you're just about going to hit that threshold for auto shielding. Balance could be worse. Stamina's fairly good. So yeah, he's a solid card. This is a card where there is a league challenge that you can use him in the Spanish league challenge. So for the Spanish league challenge, it could be a very handy option to have as a centre midfielder. I don't have too many boxes for the Spanish league challenge, to be honest. So I might keep holding for that, but the big frustration for me is the passing. You know, you're not quite at that 85 mark to go +3 unless you get an 89 rated manager, of course. That's going to take some getting used to when I'm doing these reviews. But yeah, would like the pass to be a bit higher. Very annoyed they've nerfed that bit, but apart from that, I mean, yeah, like I say, the attack awareness is a bit low, and the defensive awareness isn't brilliant either. Like I said with Kamada, you know, Kamada is one of those unusual cards where you've got 80 plus attacking and defensive awareness. Now you got the opposite with Barrios, whereas attacking awareness and defensive awareness are both low 70s. Or I guess mid 70s for a defensive, but not particularly high. So those are important attributes. That's a bit of a letdown for me. The passing as well, I would like to be a bit higher. But yeah, it is what it is. Apart from that, in most other areas, he's pretty decent looking. He's got a good selection of skills. So for the Spanish League Challenge especially, could be a very handy option. I'm not sure how many people will be putting this guy in their squads outside of the Spanish League Challenge, but certainly especially for that. He's got a lot of quality. He's a good all-rounder in the middle of the park, and he could be a useful card to pick up. And this could also be a pretty useful card to pick up if you've not already got a good version of Kvaratskhelia. Albeit, if you've already got a good version of Kvaratskhelia, you probably don't need this one, because there's not a lot of difference between this one and the previous versions. At least the better rate, the higher rated versions. It's just another good version of Kvaratskhelia, really. We've had quite a few at this point. You've had loads of Player of the Week ones. The previous PSG Player of the Week one, which is quite recent, is very similar to this one. But that one could play as a centre forward. That's one advantage that it had, albeit the advantage this one has over that previous one is he's got through passing, and there's not many Kvaratskhelia cards that have through passing, so that is a nice addition. That will make a difference, albeit it's just going to improve his passing. It's still not going to be brilliant, only 72. This is a booster as well. What's the booster going to give us? Speed, stamina, lofted pass core. I remember this one. This is crossing, because you obviously need to be able to run fast and have good stamina to be able to cross the ball. Yeah, crossing. So yeah, they're good in pinball crossing as well. Now, let's start with the skills this time. So skill-wise, they've taken away Marseille Turn. Rabona, I think, is gone as well, and penalty specialist. So yeah, I think we can live without those. It's a little bit annoying they keep taking Marseille turn away. I'm not one for doing skill moves personally, but I think a lot of people will be disappointed with that. But they've added first time shot, through passing, as I mentioned, and pinpoint crossing. Already got long edge curler there, so it's an interesting looking Kvaratskhelia card. Pinpoint crossing, and when he's on A form, 78 lofted pass. That means with your game plan boost, you're going to hit the 80 mark for lofted pass. With pinpoint crossing, he's still not going to have a great cross on him, but it'll be okay. So you've got a version of Kvaratskhelia where you can put a half decent cross in from the right hand side or on the left hand side if you cut back onto his right foot. He is fairly two-footed as well. But he's got what you usually expect from Kvaratskhelia. He's got pace, he's good on the ball, good attacking awareness there, decent finishing with long edge curler especially. So I think for most people it's pretty obvious what you got with this Kvaratskhelia card, and it's what you usually get with him. You got an inverted ring off the left wing, coming onto his right foot, great on the ball, bit of end product with his finishing certainly. Got a face scan of course, unwavering form as well. And yeah, like I say, he does match up pretty well to previous versions. Like I say, very similar to that previous PSG Player of the Week card, just can't play centre forward, but he's got through passing. I think I'll take the through passing skill over the ability to play centre forward. You look at the previous Player of the Week cards of Kvaratskhelia, most of the better ones are around a similar level, to be honest. There's one whole player, one that could play attacking midfield, and that had better passing. He had one touch and through, and his lower pass attribute was significantly higher than this. Player of the Season version had better finishing, apart from that, very similar. And he stacks up pretty well against the best trainables, to be honest. Even the old Showtime version is quite an old card now. You can train that one so you can make him a bit better on the ball, give him more pace, etc. But on the whole, this one stacks up pretty well against that Showtime one, to be honest, because it's quite an old Showtime card. I wouldn't be surprised if we get a new one at some point. Maybe it's the end of the season, they'll put him in the Liga and pack or something. They're doing Showtime packs for any old reason these days, so I wouldn't be surprised if we get another Showtime version at some point. But yeah, this is a good version of Kvaratskhelia. It stacks up pretty well against previous ones, but like I say, if you've got a previous version of Kvaratskhelia that you're happy with, you probably don't need this one. It's just one of those really. But if you don't already have a good version, or if you have a version that's not as good as this one, it is a good version. Obviously, as you can see, like I say, he's got the strengths you want from Kvaratskhelia. He's got the pace, he's got the dribbling, he's got a bit of end product. It's nice they're giving him through passing, and because he doesn't always have that. But like I say, still only 72 low pass. You're still not going to have great passing with this guy. But there's only two positions you're going to use him in, so passing's not the most important thing in those wide forward positions. From the right, you're going to be putting crosses in, or maybe coming inside and hitting some outside curlers and so on. But I think most people would put him on the left, cut inside onto his right foot. Got long range curler, he got first time shot now as well. Through passing will at least improve his passing. You can always put a cross in from the right flank as well if you want to. You got soul control. Yeah, you got some good skills in this guy. It's a good version of him. There's not a lot more to add. I think at this point most of us know what to expect from Kvaratskhelia. He's got what you need from him. He's got one or two nice skills that have been added in there as well. What they've done from his GP card. They've taken 1 point away from dribbling. I mean, that's annoying, but it's still 90, so I think we can live with that. A couple of points off his attacking awareness, likewise we can live with that, even though that again is quite annoying. They boosted his physical contact, actually, that's a nice boost. Finishing's been boosted a bit as well. That's about it really from his GP card. So yeah, it's a good version of Kvaratskhelia. We all know what to expect from him by now. If you've not already got a good version of him, then this will be a very nice one to pick up, very handy one, albeit again we don't get a French League challenge, unfortunately, so it's just going to be one you're looking at for your main squad for divisions and so on. But I think it's definitely a card that's on the level that could be getting in a lot of people's squads for divisions in your main squads and stuff. So yeah, it's a good Kvaratskhelia card. You know what to expect from him. They've done a nice job with the skills they've given him. So yeah, if you don't already have a good version of Kvaratskhelia, or maybe if you do, this could be an upgrade. It's a good version of him. Now we have whole player Jamal Musiala. So for a lot of people that'll be good news. He's normally a creative playmaker. Comes down to personal preference, of course, but I think a lot of people would prefer that. Albeit the bad news is, still doesn't have through passing. There's only been a few versions of him that have had through passing. We've got another one that doesn't, and you can't train these cards, so that's a bit of a disappointment. But whole player playing style, that'll be active. Centre mid, attack mid, left mid. You can play him as a left wing forward still, but we're without an active playing style. He's got a face scan, obviously. Still only standard form. We've had loads of versions, but I like with Kvaratskhelia. Mostly a similar level overall, to be honest. This doesn't really stand out as being a lot better or worse than most of the better ones. There was a goal poacher version, is obviously very different. You could play that one up front. That was a very interesting version, slightly different profile. We've had creative playmaker versions, we've had roaming flank versions. One or two of them had through passing, most of them don't. There was a whole player when he played for Germany one week that does have through passing. But yeah, on the whole, he's around about the same level as most of the better versions from Player of the Week. If you compare it to trainable versions, the Legend version of Musiala is obviously the best version, but it's interesting though, even though that was an attacking midfielder as well, when you auto-allocate the points on the Legend version, there's a heavy emphasis on his on-the-ball attributes, not so much on his passing. You can obviously train that Legend card. If you train the Legend card to try and match this one, so you take some points away from the on-the-ball attributes and try and make his passing better, you end up with him not being that much better than this one, to be honest, albeit he does have through passing, which is a big addition, and you can't put that on this card. So that the Legend one, it does have the advantage. It is a better card, but like I say, depending how you train him, might not necessarily be that much better. Outside of that, he's up there with the better trainables, to be honest. The better trainables only go up to about this level, 1 or 2 of them. I don't think any of them are better. But you can train them, of course, so you can make them a bit better on the ball, maybe better, maybe a bit quicker, etc. But on the whole, this does stack up pretty well against the trainable versions. But I mentioned on the ball that here's your annoying nerf from his GP card. So if you auto-allocate his GP card, you'll find that we've lost 3 points from ball control, 6 points from dribbling, and 7 points from tight possession. Why? I mean, they're still high enough, so fair enough, and they have boosted him in some other areas. Most importantly, his defending. Again, an attacking player is better at defending than normal. Awesome, that's really helpful. Thanks, Konami. We've lost 4 points off low pass from his auto-allocated GP card, so there's another annoying one. Boosted his physical strength, though, so yeah, defending and physical better, on the ball and passing worse. Excellent. A bunch of other attributes have been increased by a few, though. And then skill-wise, it looks like there's only one real change. They've taken out chop turn and they've given us outside curler. That's a decent swap, but yeah, would have liked through passing. But yeah, on the whole, it's one of these Player of the Week cards where it's very annoying the way they've nerfed certain attributes. But if you're going to look at it in isolation, he's still going to be good in the ball. He's still got pretty decent passing, albeit he's not got through passing. Finishing's pretty good. Attack wise is pretty good. Decent pace, decent balance. It's going to come down to where you use him, really. It could be very decent as an attacking midfielder. Just be careful with the passing because he doesn't have through passing, so his passing won't quite be on that top level. Centre mid, not for me. He's not strong enough physically or defensively, even though they boosted him physically and defensively. Wide left, maybe that's where you get the most joy out of this guy. He's got long range curler and first time shot. He's got the pace. He's going to be very good on the ball. He always feels very smooth on the ball. Musiala, whole player playing, so will be active left mid. That could be, for me personally, the best way to use him. If I get this card, that's where I would use him, as a left mid with the whole player playing style, making those attacking runs, getting into good attacking positions. Left wing forward without an active playing style. If you prefer players to have an active playing style, obviously that would be a concern. But if you don't mind him not having an active playing style there, it could be very neat as a left wing forward. So yeah, I think wide left probably the best way to use him. Could certainly get away with him attacking mid. A little bit annoying the way they've nerfed certain things. Shame he still doesn't have through passing, which he normally doesn't have. But he's a super sub as well. Got a couple of nice skills. Well, one nice skill thrown in there. Outside curler is a handy one to have. But yeah, good. I think ultimately the way I'd sum it up, the way they've nerfed certain attributes is very, very annoying. But it's a good version of Musiala, but it's not the most exciting one. But if you don't have a good version of him already, certainly be a very nice one to pick up. And we finish up with our goalie. So we got Mamardashvili from Valencia, albeit he's going to be at Liverpool next season. He's got a face scan. He's massive. He's about 6'5", 6'6". He's a big dude. Got unwavering form. He's got high punt, long throw, penalty saver. No low punt. Bit of a shame. Most people like low punt, but he's got a few skills there. And he's pretty good. So we've had a couple of versions of Mamardashvili at this point. We had a previous Player of the Week card. The overall rank's too low on the previous one, but I'm not sure why, to be honest. If you look at the core goalkeeper attributes, they're kind of shuffled around, but on the whole, they look pretty similar on that previous one. I don't think he certainly doesn't lose 2 points, I don't think, from his core goalkeeper attributes, but the one area where this card does have an advantage over that previous Player of the Week one is that he's got more physical contact, and he's got a bit more jumping and a bit more on his low and lofted pass. It looks like that's the only area where he's got a boost on that previous one, so if you're only really interested in those core goalkeeper attributes, yes, this one goes too higher apparently in his overall rating compared to the previous one, but if you got that previous one, I don't think the core goalie attributes are that different, really. I don't see a big difference. There's been a trainable version of it as well in a La Liga pack, Spanish League pack. Again, pretty similar on the whole, to be honest. I don't think there's a massive difference. So, in my personal opinion, if you got one of the two previous versions of Mamardashvili, I wouldn't bother wasting any coins trying to spin for this one. I don't think you're going to get, I don't think the advantage of this one is really anywhere near enough to justify throwing coins at it. But it is definitely a good version of him. If you don't have one of the previous ones, it looks like a good, strong goalkeeper card. He's a big dude. He's got decent reach on him, reasonably long arms, good reach, tall. So the coverage of his goal is going to be good. The awareness is very good. Reflexes round about the mark you need him to be. Catching is all right. Parrying a bit iffy, but yeah, on the whole, he got a good strong goalkeeper card. This they boosted a bunch of his stats. The catching and reflexes haven't changed. If you get his GP card and auto allocate it, the catching and reflexes are the same, but the other 3 have been boosted. So yeah, on the whole, big goalkeeper, good attributes, good reach. I think he's a good goalie card, a very solid one for the Spanish League Challenge especially. Could be a very good option to have. So yeah, from nitpicking would like low punt, but ultimately for a goalkeeper of this size with these attributes, he's certainly going to do a very good job for you. It could be a very solid goalkeeper option to have, especially for that Spanish League Challenge. So there's your Player of the Week pack. I'll be honest, I don't think it's a particularly exciting one. I think that centre back card's just bad. Cabrera's solid. Talisca could be a handy one. Kamada, pretty solid all-round centre midfielder. Iwobi, if you don't mind the create playmaker playing style out wide, it could be a decent wide back coming off that left wing. Pavlidis, decent all-rounder, but without a Portuguese League Challenge, is he ever going to be of use to? I'm not sure. Brennan Johnson, I don't know about him on the right or through the middle, but if you put him wide left as an SS, I think it could be pretty handy. Kvaratskhelia, wide left could be very handy. It's a very good version of Kvaratskhelia, but there's been quite a few, so you might not necessarily need it. But if you don't have a good version of him, that's probably the pick of the pack. Barrios could be a useful centre mid, not a bad card, not an amazing one either. Mamardashvili, big, good goalkeeper, solid goalkeeper, and then Musiala. Again, like I always say, Musiala would really like him to have through passing, but even without through passing, it could be a handy one, especially off the left wing. Whole player playing style for me personally, and for a lot of people will be a nice upgrade as well. So yeah, there's 1 or 2 decent ones in there, but on the whole, I don't think that's the most exciting Player of the Week pack, but certainly there are certainly 1 or 2 cards in there that could be useful ones to pick up. So there you go. Hopefully you found this useful. I will be reviewing the Norway pack. I'll do a video probably over the weekend of that one, get that live as soon as I can. I'm going to try and do a stream this afternoon, maybe tomorrow afternoon as well, so keep your eyes out for that. Hopefully I'll see you for a stream at some point. But yeah, for this pack, let me know who you've got. Let me know what you think of the pack. Hopefully you found this video useful, and hopefully I'll see you soon either for a live stream or for one of the next videos. So take it easy, and I'll see you soon.